The idea here is you would load up usually previs assets, so that might be characters, environments, a whole animated scene, and we have tools in here that I'll be going through to show how whether you're kind of on the couch trying to QC a new environment that you just got from your VAD, or maybe you're on set and you actively want to show the picture camera where the dragon's going to fly through, Cyclops can kind of handle all that for you. So we found that most of the time this gets, I kind of do a teaching routine with a VFX soup, let's say, and then maybe it just lives in his laptop bag. And so when you're on a huge blue screen set or maybe an LED wall and it's doing a changeover, instead of your actors and your keys kind of sitting still and not being able to do anything, they're able to get up there with Cyclops and take a look around. And so we've had actors learn that this is available. They'll then come up and say, hey, can I see what's over there? Or where am I running to? Where am I running from? And so Cyclops can kind of do that. So let's go ahead and dive in. So in here, I've got my DLC manager. So this just shows all the different content packs that I might have available for my show, right? So I've got a whole bunch in here. Let's go ahead and start off with that cave path. Go back to my main menu here. There we go. Actually, I'll show you asset mode first. That'll kind of, I think, give you a little bit better idea of what we're doing. So you can see it's just the iPad camera. I open up the little side panel here, and I can go ahead and put in different objects. So let's do just a little scale person to give you guys the idea. I just tap the ground, and he gets spawned right there in front of me. I can turn on my AR plane so you can see where the iPad has sort of scanned the floor there. And I can start to place people around on the ground. Right now I'm on an Alexa LF film back, and my lens there that you can see at the top is accurate to what the actual lens would be on an Alexa. So as we go through this, let me go ahead and load up some T-Rexes. Scroll down here to the bottom. Turn on my T-Rexes. Got a couple of things loaded, so it's just going a little slow. There we go. Okay, so now I've got let's go with a T-Rex roar. And I'll go ahead and spawn that back there. And you can see I've got a full-size T-Rex now. I'll rotate him around. There we go. And now I'm gonna need a wider lens. So you can see that as the T-Rex, as the T-Rex is roaring, the iPad is able to do pretty decent person occlusion. So it's got an algorithm where it just can kind of magically tell where people are. That means that basically you can use someone usually as a stand-in for your actor. You can figure out what your shots are gonna be. Whoops. No thank you, Siri. Trying to get my hands out of the way of that camera. And then we just have a lot of tools, right? So you can go move the T-Rex around. You can scale him down. Let's go ahead and bring him forward. Maybe our creature we want to play with, what if there's baby creatures, right? So I think I've got some pre-made mini ones in here. Let's go ahead and put a couple of mini T-Rexes in. Spin them around. We'll turn these off. There we go. So we can start to set shots, play around with what we're going to do on the day. And, again, all kind of self-contained on the iPad. We find that, when directors aren't sure what their shots are going to be, maybe they're a little nervous. They don't want to say that in front of everybody. But this allows us to take stills. You can record a whole move. When you record the move, it records all the transforms as a big JSON file. So it's not directly exportable, but we have a tool that'll read that in if you do a camera that you just absolutely love. Cool, so I think that kind of gives you an idea of the sort of core technology. Let's go ahead and move on to shot mode. Yeah, so that asset mode that I just showed you works with importing your own models. So our latest version does that. These other ones, so shot mode that you'll see here, this instead of opening just a single kind of FBX or a little animation, is going to open a whole Unreal level. And it can include sequencer animation, right? So you're kind of stepping up. In order to get one of these shots created, you do need to kind of reach out to us. We're gonna make this quick and economical as possible. But basically, we're gonna load it in, optimize it so that it's gonna run decently on iPad for you. And then it comes with this, some support. We want to make sure it's going to work well for you. So let's go ahead and load a shot. So I have this mountain environment, which is the same. Let's see if I can hold this better. The same environment that Vue's using on this stage here today. And so, of course, they're running 5.1. They have full, gorgeous foliage, beautiful lighting, all these things. So what we do is take that. I took the foliage and basically pruned out a section that we said, okay, this is going to be our play space. I was able to take all the distant stuff and project it to a dome that I'll kind of show you through here. And then the near stuff I converted to a static mesh. So I'll go quickly through these. Basically, we have a couple of bookmarks. So you can see it spawned me at this one right here. We can jump to other areas. So let's go to the far shore. We'll go over there. There we go. So here we are on the rocky little outcrop. And we're looking out at this whole mountainous environment. If I get you guys a little bit closer, there you go, that without feedback, that works a little bit better. You can kind of see what we're after there. I just want to show off how we the cheats and what we do to make it work well. Let's go back to our center island. So we also have display layers in here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my bookmarks. So if we look off in the distance there, you can see we have some beautiful fog on those mountains. The flavor of engine that runs on the iPad doesn't include decent fog. So really that's just a projection, right? So I went ahead and projected everything to be able to cull out all those trees and convert all these into the foreground. So I'll show you some of the camera tools here. In order to align to a physical set, you're gonna, camera, boom up. So we can fly around. We can say, you know what, I don't like the middle of this river. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can turn off some people. No, it's not gonna let me. All right, so we're gonna fly over here. We're gonna say, you know what if we shot from down this way? I'm gonna be able to see the river a lot better if I look that direction, right? So I can kind of fly around, scout out my area. Again, I still have access to the same asset mode. And one of the things that I think is really nice here is we can go have our whole environment, figure out where we want to place things, stick an actor right here in front of us, and then we can spawn a wall. So let's go ahead and take this same wall. So they were nice enough to give me the model of the wall. I'll go ahead and push that out in front of us. And now this is the accurate dimensions on an accurate lens of what you're going to be able to see on your wall. So you can see if we'll just place some people there so I have something to frame up on. There's one, there's another. Okay, so as I set my shot, you can see I kind of like this wider angle, but I'm going to be seeing the edges of the wall there. So I can go figure out just how tight I have to go. So there you go, on a 30, I'm able to actually get a pretty decent shot. So I can reasonably expect to be on a 30 mil for that. If there's, let's say, let's go move one of these guys down. Move down. So I'm just going to say he's on his knees, right? Maybe he's panning for gold or something. And I want to get up close to him. Let's bring him a little closer to me, actually. There we go. So I can start to say, okay, if I'm down here looking up, I'm really going to see that wall. So maybe for that setup, I'm going to need to go adjust my wall position. Rotate that around, maybe push it around a little bit. And so you can see that by playing, I'm going to be able to come up with a reasonable shot for my gold panning movie or whatever it is, and basically come up with stills through this that can get sent out to the other departments. So if I do have practical effects, if there is a shot where I want to be super wide and have a set extension that is going to be a more expensive shot, then I can send those out ahead of time for reasonably low effort, reasonably low cost, and really be doing my own tech phase is what this kind of comes down to. Cool. Then the last mode I wanted to show you is VCam mode. So in this mode, this is really best for when you don't need that augmented reality layer, when you don't want to have your people occluding you, you don't want to have your kind of stand-ins there. Let's let it load. Okay, So you can see in VCam mode, it's still asking me to show it where the floor is, right? So I'm still using the augmented reality, but it's turned off the video, which makes it just a little bit more performant as I'm looking around. I still have access to the exact same scenes that I did before. So this time, let's go ahead and open this cave environment. So this is another full LED wall environment. This one is from the demo pack that Epic released. So it had, gorgeous lumen light through everything. And in this case, I actually went through, cleaned up the geo a little bit to make it lighter, and then I baked the light instead. So this one doesn't have the dome projection, but light baking is also supported. If a little glitchy, let's be real, right? The other thing is it has some light shafts in it. So I recreated those light shafts. You'll see them in a second here. I recreated those light shafts just using cards. So it's kind of a combination of like previs cheats and shortcuts to just get these bigger environments to be more performant. So let's let it see the ground. There we go. All right, so we've got this nice spooky cave. I'm just gonna pan around a little bit so you guys can kind of get an idea of it. So we've got some nice light shafts, some things to kind of compose to here. We can fly around. I can also scale myself up. So down here at the bottom, this world scale. If I go move that up, now when I walk through, I'm gonna be able to go like do a bigger camera move, right? So if I wanted to see what a big jib shot would look like in here, maybe I go up to 8x and I can go up to the ceiling in the cave, look around. Again, if you record a video of this, it's also gonna record all your JSON stuff. So we've had directors who, maybe they want a really expensive set build and they're trying to justify why they should build this miraculous set. We'll go take our previs model of that set or a model from them. We'll ingest it. They'll be able to take a look through there, set all their shots, be able to show off like this is why this set build is going to be so cool, and make the argument to do whatever the shot is they want. Again, of course, we can still spawn everything we want to in here. So let's go ahead and put a T-Rex in our cave. Spin them around like that. And maybe on this one we say, all right, we're going to need a much bigger wall. We know that, so we're going to put it over here. And so unlike this, kind of demo wall, this would be a much more full-size, big thing where you can do your big pan shot, figure out exactly what your lenses are going to be, and prove out that that wall size is going to work on whatever lens you need. Cool? Any questions? No? Okay, great. So one of the other uses that we've seen for it is really exploring your character scale, right? So I'll just go back to asset mode to kind of make the point, but basically on the Clifford the Big Red Dog movie, they knew they were going to have this red dog, and that throughout the movie, the dog was going to get progressively larger, right? But knowing that you're going to be shooting, let's say, in Baltimore on the library steps for that one scene where the dog is sad or something, you want to figure out exactly how big that dog's going to be on the day. So the production was able to load up a couple of different dog poses in here and scale them up and shrink them down and be able to report back on just how big the dog is going to be through the whole movie, so that they knew that their locations would work. It kind of doubled as a location scout where you could bring along Clifford the Big Red Dog without having to close anything down. Great, so I'll just do my T-Rex again. So we wound up on another kind of creature movie. Go ahead and rotate him. Scale him back up. Oh, he's far away. Let's delete that. T-Rex. Idle. There we go. So again, push him away. Rotate him around. So again, on a creature movie, I might say this is just way too big. Let's go ahead and shrink him back down a little bit. And I really want a dinosaur that's more about this height, right? So this is really where, like, the simplest kind of application of Cyclops. If we knew that, let's say, this whole area here was our set, we are able, I don't have the distance, but we are able to use the LiDAR scanning to scan that set get a rough cutout the same way that it's recognizing the people. On a bigger set, it's always nice to have real LiDAR. So we might have a previs model, figure out what we're going to do. We're sent LiDAR a couple days before the shoot usually. We're able to get that loaded in and put on what we call a holdout material, which creates that mask. So we would use that for big set extensions. Maybe you're shooting a big field and there's some ugly buildings there. We can make a big sky or a tree line, whatever you need, and then have your dragonfly overhead, that kind of thing. Great. So I have 2 iPads up here. If anybody'd like to come give it a try, you're more than welcome. We've got lots of TechViz tools here. I'll let you use this one if you want to. Yeah, so the camera's actually on the bottom on this one, so you gotta just keep your hand clear of that camera. It's down in this corner. And then if I open up this left tray here, that's the list of stuff you can spawn. Let me get this one up for you.
How long is that manual period where, like, if we submit a scene to you guys,
Yeah.
and then to get it back, what's kind of the average?
Yeah. So the question is just what's the turnaround time on assets? It's basically a day, right?
Okay.
So usually when we get the geo in, it's a hot mess. Is pretty common.
Yeah. You gotta optimize everything.
So there's a little bit of geo cleanup there. Usually we can just take care of that in Maya. But as soon as you get something that looks halfway decent in Unreal, it's really the only kind of problem is if there's really intense Niagara effects. Basically any of the new cutting edge stuff doesn't work on the iPad. So we would just have to reduce or
Lumen,
simplify.
nanite, all that
Exactly. Lumen, nanite, all that doesn't work yet on the
chip's
iPad.
too small, right? On the iPad.
Honestly, I think that I would wish they took off the restrictions, let it try to run the full version, and then let the user say, all right, let me disable this, disable that on the, trying to just get the performance to be the only thing. But it's actually that the iOS build of Unreal Engine has restrictions on
I
it.
see.
Sorry, what's that?
So if I want to put another object in, I got to take the dinosaurs out first?
No, you should be able to. It's having a little bit of a hard time with this lit floor, I think.
Oh, I see.
There you go. So it put a plane in. Yep. Oh, sorry. It's a plane like a flat plane, not like a flying plane. Let me load up a shot for you, actually. So if we go up here to the cog again, just to speed this up, I'm going to just unmount all of these so that they're not all. I thought it would save time to preload them, but let's do the Harrier takeoff. Here we go. Harrier anim. We'll go to this shot mode, and then let's load up Harrier takeoff. Load that. There we go.
Interface UX?
Yeah, it's all built. You guys, all right. Can you look around and see if the jet's around you? Let me get you up on this one. Just unmount these. I'm gonna stick you in. Oh, that's the wrong Saturn. That's okay.
Saturn Space Station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do it. Nice, man.
So this is actually built to our headquarters, so that it's like
A
both of them
one-to-one?
line up. It's a one-to-one.
Sweet. Yeah, that's really
exactly.
cool. So when you're walking around physically, and then you overlay this on
Exactly.
it, you're actually seeing. You can go
Yeah,
up there
there
and
you
kind of
go.
feel it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we had, let's hide this bookmark for you. If we go here, eyeball, and there's just too many. Yeah, there you go, bookmarks. There we go. It's all right, just tape.
Do you have to do a
Let me
LiDAR
find
scan?
it for you. Yeah, so I just did a really quick one actually with the iPad. Where are we?
You guys have that built in, or is it using other tools to do LiDAR as a part of your app already?
So it is part of the app, but it does a really rough one. So basically, if you want, here, I'll show you the functionality. If you go down, we go auto holdout and hold out geo on. Now if you walk up to that desk, you'll see as it paints the desk with LiDAR. And that level may be tough just because if you walk through the wall, I don't think there's anything beyond it.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do here. Where is our Harrier? No, I don't know where it went. Let's go scrub the timeline. Interesting. There it is. Why is it so far away? I think it's remembering my position from when I was out in the parking lot, actually. Ground. Sky. All right, let's try.
I did. It's something that's
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get you lined up here. It's actually remembering my GPS offset from last time I used it, which is normally a convenient feature, but it's putting me really far away from that airplane there. So I'm just going to try and pull you up closer to it. Let's go a little faster. There we go. Okay. Back down to the ground. Let's try and get our ground set. There we go.
Yeah, they seem lady. She was very.
Okay. There we go. So now you've got this shot queued up. Just going to turn those off for you and hide this. Great. Whoops. So this is going to be your gain for the dolly tool. And that little joystick there is going to help move your camera around relative to it. And then you can scrub your timeline here. So the plane's going to start off in the air. If you look up in the air, look up there. You got it. And then as the plane comes down, we can hit play. You can watch it land and do that shot. So let's go ahead and open that right side tray. The little tab on the right side there. Sorry, it's a little hard to see with the video. There you go. And we're just going to hit play forward as it comes in and lands. And I think it'll loop again by default.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like your idea of mapping virtual with real. That's the way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
What is the difference between Cyclops and the Dragonfly?
Sure. So Dragonfly is a VCam app only. So it doesn't do any of the augmented reality with the video composite, or not on its own. You could obviously do a simulcam setup. The real difference is Cyclops is completely enclosed in the iPad, right? So it doesn't need any internet. There's no router. There's no anything. Whereas Dragonfly is going to be connecting to a full workstation running full-fledged Unreal.
So this is working inside of the iPad, not connecting
Yes,
to
exactly.
any Unreal.
Exactly. So we had a director who was getting sets from the art department and needed to be able to QC them. And he was jet setting all over the place. And as he would get near Wi-Fi, his assistant would download the latest versions of the sets onto his iPad. And then while he was in the air on the airplane, he could go QC all the sets. He did drawovers, made notes, did his whole thing, and then that would all get uploaded back to us.